people to travel.
Prof, earlier on you said about properly educated.
Correct.
Do you think the education system as it is in Africa, generally, is it failing young people?
There's a problem with our education system across the board. I have traveled and I'm familiar with the education systems of many African countries. And what has happened over the years is that we have acquired obsession with degrees, but we don't ask ourselves what is the content of the degrees that we are issuing. If you permit me,
yes,
many African countries say that agriculture is the backbone of our economy. But what a weak backbone it is in many African countries. If you go to the universities, what kind of things are they teaching their graduates of agriculture? If you look at a country such as China, for example, in the area of aquaculture, they are producing over a third of their fish from fish ponds. Are we doing that? If you look at a number of African countries, they are still importing poultry from countries such as Brazil. And I'm submitting to us that in every sector, whether it is in agriculture, whether it's in engineering, we must look at the content of what we are doing so that we are able to produce young men and women who are innovators and inventors, and we become manufacturers, and value addition becomes our forte.
If I may, you are saying in other words, the way our education is must talk to our economic needs, must talk to what we say about our country. Let's use the example of agriculture.
Yes.
If at all agriculture is the backbone, then the education system must talk to this backbone.
You put it so well. That is what I'm saying. Because look at the education system that we inherited from the erstwhile colonizers. It was meant to produce Africans who would work as civil servants. And there is a large sense in which we have carried on that kind of education system without much interrogation. Going forward, we must ask ourselves at the University of Botswana, how many patents have you acquired in any given year in terms of creation, if it is food science technology? I was in an aircraft which is an African airline. The butter is from Denmark. How I wish that the butter...
African airline
in Africa. How I wish that the butter was from Botswana, that the beef was from Botswana, that the coffee was from Kenya, the cocoa was from Ghana or Cote d'Ivoire. Because when we talk about these things, it means that every sachet of sugar that I'm consuming, if it is produced in Zambia, it creates employment. And you asked a question which must be answered.
Yes, yes.
Do the young men and women in Botswana know about the opportunities in Rwanda?
They realized that if we take away Africans from practice and move them to theory, we will be creating a labor force for ourselves. So they brought a school system which did not promote thinking, but promoted remembering.
Say that again.
They brought a school system which did not promote thinking, but promoted remembering for the sake of creating good employees who don't think, but can remember. Okay?
Right.
So they brought a school system where you learnt useless things. Homo habilis. Who was Shaka's mother? What is the longest river in Africa?
Yeah.
Tell me, what is the use of that rubbish? Okay? So you went into school and you were studying how many times Muslims pray per day.
Yeah.
You wake up at night to study how many times Muslims pray per day. So you memorize photosynthesis. You memorize how many teeth a dog has. You memorize everything. And at the end of the day, what did they produce? They produced someone who was a container of useless knowledge. A container of useless knowledge.
Right.
That is why today we have doctors who have been independent for 55 years. Have you heard that there are vaccines being made by Zambian doctors? So you walk out of medical school as someone who knows when to give Panadol, how to take temperature. You are a doctor who is a Panadol distributor. And it's not your fault, the education system. Okay? You have professors in this country, in the School of Forestry at Copperbelt University.
Yeah.
We have lived with Mukula tree since God created the world. All they know is how to label the parts of the tree. They don't know the value of the tree.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
So when this mission succeeded, then they came to set up industries. And when they set up industries, who was the laborer? The graduate from the school of remembering. Okay. Someone who would remember how to dig, where to dig. Someone who would remember how to cut a tree and how many pieces. Someone would remember. And they rewarded you with a bribe called a salary, and we became comfortable.
Right.
So when they come into Africa, what are they coming to do? They are coming to reap your resources, and you are a means of production. So this is what made Africa poor.